Okay, so my name is John. I'm 28 years of age. I really want this IT manager job because although I've worked in recruitment in Australia for the last couple of years, actually previously in Ireland I worked in IT for 4 years and feel that I can bring a wealth of knowledge to the Australian market.
Alright, so the first question is, tell me about a situation at work when you needed to say something to a colleague even though you knew it would be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. In a previous role of mine, I actually was a team leader for a recruitment agency. So I had the unfortunate situation where I got a call from a major client of ours. I was the point of escalation for any major client issues because I was in that leadership situation. So I got a call from one of our major clients with a complaint about one of the consultants in my team. Basically, he was working on a job for this client and wasn't doing a particularly good job. Hadn't submitted any CVs, hadn't spoken to the relevant line manager, and just had given a poor service throughout. So unfortunately, I had to have a difficult conversation with the consultant in my team. And going back to your question, talking about a situation where you have to say something that mightn't go down very well, I had to sit with my consultant, take him aside into a room, and just first gauge how he was feeling, and make sure that he was okay. There wasn't any outlying factors, whether it was with work or through personal life or with this particular client, and allay any fears there.
And then what was expressed? Was there anything there in particular?
There wasn't any major issue. What his major thing was that it was a very difficult role to fill, and he couldn't find anyone. And I absolutely empathised with him, and I agreed with him that when it was a difficult role, and he also mentioned that it's quite a difficult client to deal with, which I agreed with. I understood totally what he was saying there, and as I said, I empathised with him, but I did have to speak to him and say, listen, you're going to have to make the client feel a little bit more loved, even if you don't have a candidate for the client. I think you should still, keep in regular contact with them, keep them up to date with what you're doing on their behalf, so how you're sourcing candidates, who you're meeting in the market, why they're not good enough to be sent to the client. So he took all that on board, and he agreed with me, and we actually organised a meeting with the client for the two of us to go down to sort the situation out and explain what we would do going forward. And the outcome was that the client turned out to be happy with that situation and was happy to see that we'd taken the time out and we'd rectified the situation, and he kept in regular contact from there on.
How did you feel in that situation prior to having the meeting and things? What were you personally sort of experiencing from it?
Yeah, it was an unfortunate situation. He was a very good consultant, and it was a bit shocking. So to have that conversation was a little bit uncomfortable, because I do really rate the person involved, and I understood that it was a difficult situation they were in, but I also understood the client side as well. But yeah, I suppose it was difficult, but it's something you have to deal with in a leadership situation, and that's.
You mentioned that you're a little bit uncomfortable and apprehensive about going into the meeting. Tell me, did you mention that to the person, or did you leave that out of the equation?
Well, Ben, when you're going in to have these conversations with people, I often think that it's better to be honest and upfront from the start. And so if you are uncomfortable, let the person know that you're uncomfortable. And the reason behind that is I really like when I'm having these conversations, particularly with colleagues who I really do rate and I get along quite well with. I like to be on a level playing field with them, and I like to be upfront with them straight away, and it actually puts them at ease when you're having the conversation. Also, it is a difficult situation to be in, and I've been in that situation before. We've all been at a junior level and made mistakes. So I like to let the consultant know, or whoever I'm speaking to know that I've been through that situation before myself, but that I'm also uncomfortable having this conversation. I often think it's the best way to go. Also, if you're going into a situation where you are uncomfortable and you're having an uncomfortable conversation, but you try to hide it, I think that again it comes out worse to the person you're having the conversation with, and it just kind of festers there, and it just makes it even more uncomfortable of a situation. So get your cards on the table, have a level playing field, have a conversation about it, and often you come up with a good outcome.
Great. Okay, we might go on to the next question now.
Okay.